Hi, Tracy here with BibleJournalingMinistries.com, and today I have a little review of the apple barrel acrylic paint that you find at Walmart for about 50 cents. So I'm going to compare this against some of the other much more expensive brands in this video. So if you're ready, let's go ahead and get started. I was in the Walmart the other day getting some worms for fishing, and I came across an end cap that was just full of these little apple barrel matte acrylic paints. They actually also have gloss, but I didn't pick up any gloss. I just picked up a few colors just to test it out because I've actually never tested these out, but my girlfriend Amanda says they are amazing. So I'm excited to see how they do in Bible journaling, but they're super cheap. I think they were only 50 cents a piece. In fact, I looked online today and there was like a 12 pack from Walmart for like $4.97. It was like half off. So if it's still on sale, I'll link up. Otherwise, it won't be on sale. But it was super cheap. So 50 cents for each one. And I just picked up my favorite colors, so some blues, some pinks, and of course yellow. You know how much I love yellow. So what I thought I would do is, before I get started doing anything in my Bible, I wanted to just test it out against some of the yellows that I already have in my stash. So I have some heavy body acrylics, I have the Liquitex line, I have the Golden line, I have the Pebeo line, and then I have the student grade Blick, basically cheap paints that kind of like this. I think the Blick one was only under like 80 cents on sale, I think is what I paid for these, and I think they're under $2 in general. Maybe they're $1, I don't even know. It's been so long. I've had the same bottle for like 2 years now. And the Pebeo one I got in a kit from Illustrated Faith, and these ones I bought at the store probably with a coupon. I think like this one was running $6.59 and this one was running, I want to say closer to 10, but maybe it was 7. I'm not sure. I can't, forever ago, guys. These last forever, and you don't use them in your Bible that much when you're using them. But I use them for paints and things like paintings and canvases and things like that too, and definitely art journal as well. So for 50 cents, why not give this a try, right? So I'm just going to pour it down. And the first thing I noticed is that it's not as thick as the more expensive paints, which makes a lot of sense, right? I mean, 50 cents versus $6. You're not going to get the same quality. So you can see here, just from a quality perspective, that this one is the most runny out of all of them. So even more runny than my cheaper Blick matte acrylic paints, and definitely more runny than my other more expensive paints. So let's just test them out together. And this isn't a video for me to tell you like what to buy. I want you to decide what's right for you. And I'm just going to show you how they lay down, and you can make your own decision. Like, if you're not going to be painting to sell things, then use whatever one you can afford. I like to buy the best paint that I can afford, just because I know that it will last longer and is archival. I'm not saying that any of these are not, but I like to use the best paint that I can. I also will grab a cheaper paint as well. Well, this is surprising. This one, so the first two, the heavy body and the Liquitex and the Golden, these are heavier body paints. They were pretty thick going on. And then I got to the Pebeo, and that was really light, which is surprising because it's not cheap, but it's pretty and nice and smooth. So I mean, it's a good yellow paint. I like it. And then we go into the Blick, which I use a lot in my Bible journaling because the page is going to be closed, so I don't really care about the archival quality of it, because it's not like it's going to be out in the sun forever, but it lays down really nice. It works well for me. It's been working well for me for years. So if I am painting something that I want to sell, which I rarely do, I will always use the more expensive ones, just the higher quality ones in my painting. But if I'm using something just for myself, I want to spend some time worshiping the Lord, and I don't want to break the bank, then I use my cheaper ones. So use what works for you. I always recommend get the best that you can afford, but everyone has a different budget, and I don't want to say you have to get one or another. That's why we're doing this video. So it did take a little bit more paint for me to lay down as much coverage for the apple barrel, and it's definitely much wetter than the others. But in terms of like quality of paint, let's let it dry. And then we can check it out when it's dry, but I barely can tell the difference, right guys? It is truly a good paint. You'll be able to notice this in your Bible as well, that when I'm using the heavy body, there's not as much water, and so this page is not warping over on this side. But as soon as I started to add more water and got into my cheaper paints, the page started to buckle more. You can see the buckling here. I'm not sure if you can see it on camera. Yeah, I think you can see it on camera. But it is starting to buckle more because there is more water. And if that makes a difference to you, again, and you can afford the more expensive line of paint, then go get the more expensive line of paint. That's totally your prerogative. But this video really is about, can you use these paints? Can you use the cheaper paints? And just in art journaling in general, this is just a cheap art journal, I would say absolutely you can use the apple barrel and you won't have a problem. It'll be just fine. So let's let that dry for a bit. And as I'm letting that dry, I'm going to go ahead and prep a page. Well, I'm not going to prep the page, but I am going to go into Proverbs chapter 1, verse 7 and do some tracing using our Beginning of Knowledge printable, which is a coloring printable, super cute. You get the little kids, you get the verse, and you get the little washies, and this is one that you would color on your own. But I'm going to use it for tracing today, and I'm just going to put it on the back of my page. And if I was worried a lot about it moving, then I would tape it down with some washi tape, but I'm not. I'm not worried about that. I'm going to come in here and just against the words, come in here with a Faber-Castell Pitt pen and just quickly trace it. I'm not going to spend a lot of time, but as I'm tracing it, let me read the verse to you. It says, "The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction." And I thought this was a really cool verse for back to school. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. So I'm just going to trace this out and then I'll be right back on camera. So I'm going to fast forward through this part so you don't have to see me trace with a Pitt pen. Okay, I am back and done with the tracing so I can lay that printable aside. Again, you don't have to cut out printables and use them in your Bible. You can just trace. That works just fine as well. So I'm going to put those aside. For those of you who are wondering, this is my new Artisan Bible. It is an NIV version by Zondervan. I purchased it on Amazon during Prime Day for like $5 off, and it's so beautiful. So I haven't done a lot with it, but I thought, well, why not try? It's such a beautiful, beautiful Bible, and I do have a review for that as well on our channels. So let's do this. Let's go ahead and protect the work surface since we are playing with paints, and you know me, I can get really messy. And let's move those beautiful bookmarks out of the way because for sure I will paint them. And even though I'm going to accidentally paint them one day, I want to make sure that they're going to be fine for now. So for today, they're not going to be painted, hopefully. If I paint them on accident another day, then so be it. It will be what it will be, right? Okay, so since I have the school bus already out, I'm going to go ahead and start with the school bus and I'm just going to be using the apple barrel paints, just so you can see how they go into the Bible. So I just used a Faber-Castell Pitt pen to outline my bus. And then I came in with Illustrated Faith micron pen and was actually a little heavy-handed with that. So I did get a little bit go through on the other side, but that's okay. Not worried. Just for those of you who are wondering, tiny bit on the edges with that micron pen that I used with Illustrated Faith. But my Pitt pen just showing ghosting only, which is why I use that mostly for tracing. Yeah, I use it a lot in my Bible. I use it for lettering too. For those of you who are wondering why I only chose a half a bus instead of the full bus, I am just not going to cover the words in this Bible, but it doesn't mean that you can't. Definitely if you feel that you want to cover the words, you can. I love the idea of the bus kind of poking out through the words. So that's that is just how I chose to do it this time. Sometimes I do cover the words. It doesn't matter to me, and it shouldn't matter to you as long as you have other Bibles to use. If you only have one Bible, then don't cover the words, because otherwise you can't read it. But if you have access to this video, you should have access to the Word online. So it's a personal choice for you and what you want to do. I just tell you to spend time in the Word, spend time with the Lord, and that's all I care about. I just want you to be with your God, right? So this one is called Caribbean Blue. This one was called Bright Yellow. And so far so good, not a lot of buckling, which is nice. Just doing a little bit of a little background here. Again, just a little bit of paint on the page. Let me see if I can't get some colors to blend. So I have this one called Diva Pink that I will put down as well, because you know how much I love pink. And I did mix these colors up before I got started, like I shook the bottle. Just trying to see how those colors blend well together without any water. And they blend pretty nicely. You can see that purple start to come through. That is pretty. Boy, is this pink not a stunning color. Like, the colors in this line are gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Grab a little more pink down here. We can cover this because that's just a note. I'm just framing up the page with the pink. I'm not adding any more of the yellow since I have it in the school bus. I don't really want to add it anywhere else. And if I want to be careful, I can get close to the edge. And if you're worried about hitting the other edge, just grab another Bible mat or a piece of paper or anything that you have. Even a napkin will work. A paper towel will work. As I just kind of place that in there, just to make sure I don't accidentally hit the page, which you know I will. Might have to tape that in. And I'm not rinsing my brush at all, because I'm actually trying to blend more of these colors together without grabbing water. Oh, I grabbed yellow. I didn't want to grab yellow. I didn't want yellow on my brush, but why not? There's a nice little mud. Let me take that off. And now we're going to color that back up. See? So easy to fix mistakes, right? I don't worry about any of that stuff. Again, I just teach to get in the Word and read the Bible. And then have fun worshiping the Lord. Isn't this fun? Some people get a kick out of and have a amazing talent worshiping the Lord through music. Some of us get to worship the Lord through art. In fact, all of us can worship the Lord through art, because it's not about the art. It's about spending time in the Word and thinking about it, and how much, in just this short amount of time, have I been thinking about it? Have I been thinking about the fear of the Lord? What does the fear of the Lord mean? To me, that means respect. It doesn't mean that I should be scared, right? It means I respect the Lord. That's what it means to me. So what does it mean to you? Because again, Bible journaling isn't about me, right? It's about you. Your Bible journaling is about you. Alright, this is cool. I'm loving it. I'm going to let that dry a little bit. Then I'll come in here, since I only have this Key West blue, I'll do the windows in the Key West blue. Just because I didn't pick up any other colors, but I might go pick up more colors when I'm at the Walmart next, because I'm liking these colors. Even if it is a little thinner. this paint is a little bit thinner than the other paint that I use, but you know, sometimes I can't get the color that I want. And I don't like mixing, because mixing takes time, and who has time? I'd rather just get started. Must be very impatient, right? So there's some blue here. Maybe I'll do blue around the edge here, and I'll come back in with some yellow. And I'll color that black too. So that will be fine. Kind of wish I would have got more colors. Well, I didn't. It's because I wanted to test them out first. I don't buy a lot of things if I don't know how they're going to perform. But these ones, I don't know. I like these Apple Barrel. They have really pretty colors, and they're so cheap that I think with my budget, I think I'll make my budget stretch a little bit longer. You know, if I can spend 50 cents on paint that works well for Bible journaling, then I can, you know, spend the money on something else if I have extra money. I don't have to spend all my money on paint if this will work just fine. Let me come in here with some more blue, because I just need to knock that pink down a little bit. Again, your choice of paint needs to be up to you and what you're comfortable using. But you can see clearly that it works well here. So let me just go ahead and finish this up. It's so wet. I keep touching the paint with my hands, so I need to let it dry. Let me hit it with a heat gun, and I'll be right back. Okay, just real quick, I'm going to zoom in for you so you can just really see that. I did find some black. I ended up buying black. It does surprise me that I didn't buy white. I usually will buy black and white together. And I'm just going to come in here and just do a little bit of touching the Bible with the end of my paint brush to create some just different effects to draw your eyes around the page. And so it just kind of breaks things up too. I think it looks great. I love to do it, so I do it. That's probably good enough. I did come in with my Pitt pen and outline the bus again. I like how it pops. I think it's really pretty. And then I wrote the beginning of knowledge and a little prayer to the Lord, just saying, help me always to be learning and growing in your word, God. So another tip I wanted to let you know is when I'm using my pens, I always come and mark off on paper towel after I'm done using them. These pens are over 2 years old. I have not replaced them yet. That's because they don't dry out. And they don't dry out because I don't let paint sit on them. So if I come on top of paint, anytime I'm painting on top of paint, I will just take my pen and mark it off on a paper towel just to make sure that there's no acrylic paint on my pens. So there's a little tip for you. In terms of performance, the Apple Barrel, my girlfriend is right. She's right. You can use these in your Bible. It's a beautiful paint, beautiful, just absolutely stunning. When I look at the results here in my art journal, in terms of, you know, I can definitely tell there's a huge difference in quality. You know, again, hardly any warping with the more expensive paints, but you know, for 50 cents, I think I'm gonna switch because I could save a lot of money. Especially when it comes to Bible journaling. I didn't see, I mean, of course my page buckled, right? But it normally buckles anyways when I'm adding watercolor, so I can deal with it with acrylics. It won't buckle as much with a more expensive paint. But again, I'm not selling this, and this is just between me and the Lord. And so choose whatever works best for you. But definitely these will work in your Bible. Now, in terms of archival quality, you know, you're closing your Bible anyways. So if you're gonna close it, I think over time it'll be fine. But don't quote me on that. Again, if you're really, really concerned about archival, meaning you want this to last decades, over, even probably more than the page would last, because our pages are acid free, which is great. Then, use the more expensive one that you can afford. Go out and buy those because you don't need a lot. This is over 2 years old. Like, this might be 3 years old and it's still full. But, again, if you like the colors with the Apple Barrel brand, you like the price, I think it's beautiful, so I would recommend it for Bible journaling. I hope this review was helpful to you. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Have a great day. Goodbye!